used...
oh, the flash bulbs.
Yeah, what was it? What is the element they used? Magnesium?
Well, I just know they broke
the
light
thing that
bulbs.
made the flash was... I think you burned some magnesium or something, and that made the flash effect. That's how they... Or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something is telling me that. Whatever.
I just know them as flash bulbs. But yeah, that thing.
That's the technical term.
So we'll take a couple of pictures from Brewmaster, who looks like Tuskar, who is kind of a little bit of everything.
Oh, this draft is all over the place, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's hard. It's really hard to predict how this game goes because so much of it comes down to if either team gets the exact lanes they want. If VP get Brood not against the Monkey, it's amazing. If they get him against Monkey, it's still okay. But yeah, in my mind, there's a timer on VP. They need to win the game before it goes way too long.
Well, VPO looks to get aggressive. We'll see if Solo can get as many stacks up on intelligence steals we saw from OG earlier today with Notel. But a 4-man smoker down south. Pykat's going to be the man they want to target. And Pykat's going to be the one who breaks the smoke. A quick curse on him. They put out the Bramble, and Pykat, he'll have to doppelganger himself away. Tries to dodge a little bit. PPD to the neighborhood. Wave of Terror is his first level up. And Pykat needs the life to survive, and he's got the distance. No one unable to finish the job, but he'll have to go all the way back to base before he runs back out again.
And he has to skill Doppelganger level 1, which means he has zero laning pressure until he's level 2. Like, both of PL's other skills are what you want to skill to secure CS or just to pressure early on. So this is already, it's already a victory for VP to force this. It already helps.
Oh. At least VP are able, it's still going to be a normal split of the runes, because 33 as well as I own this top lane area. No one's around, so it will be Ramses in the mid versus the Monkey King, so VP had the lane matchup they didn't really want to have. Oh my god, that's annoying.
I think for VP, this is the matchup that they would prefer not to have for Brood, but I think the most important thing is that Brood has a solo lane.
Yeah.
And I think this is the way they secure it, right? Like, if you side lane Brood this patch, how often can you really solo it?
It may be a win anyway. Like, if this courier snipe happens and the Salve gets taken out, like, Solo doesn't have the Observer Ward down. They don't see him, but he knows his position, sees everything. So this courier snipe, they weren't even looking for it. And this courier goes down. Goodbye Salve and CCNC's aggressiveness.
I still think he can play the lane aggressively for a while. He's not going to need any regen until Brood is level 3. You'll see him just take free CS. He's going to hit the Brood a couple times, force Brood to play defensively to avoid Jingu, and then he'll take CS.
Yep. And Ramses has to come in close to fight this.
He's doing a pretty good job getting a couple of CS on the Brood. He'll get some CS on the tower too, probably.
Well, sentry wards are down up on top lane, so no one thinks he can try and dodge away from the searing arrows of Zai, but we'll see his consumables put to the test, and we'll also see the pull of Roger put to the test, but that's why Zai already has the Observe Ward back behind the tower. They want to know the second Roger does this. And so clarity, stop the pull, keep the lane equilibrium.
Man, I can't remember the last time I saw position 4 Brew. That's been a while.
That's a classic. Oh, hang on. Find the ward. Find the ward. Too late. Claps, brambles. Zai will be able to run around it. Nice cut through the tree so we can take that eastern road.
Not the best brambles there from Roger. Didn't exactly get the angles covered. Zai finds the one way out, so nicely done. That's a spell, by the way, that we're going to see more Dark Willow this tournament than we've seen in recent tournaments, probably. And one of the big reasons, I think, is Brambles are so strong level 1. The damage is big. It got increased from 100 to 140. It's like the Crystal Nova treatment, basically. That's a Bramble spell. Very strong.
CCNC. So close to killing off about 5-6 of those Spirelings with one swipe. Made some good money for him later on. No one's just having a real hard day up on top lane. Oh, he's going to have to burn the Salve pretty soon.
Good.
Oh yeah, Ram's got him low.
Oh, he's fine.
He's got a Fairy Fire, however.
He's got a full heal now. Needs to smack the wave. Maybe he wants to get some spiders.
Yeah, looks for him. Yeah, clip a couple. They're going again up on top. Zai, really, really low is Roger. Actually didn't commit to try and chase down Zai, even when he's inside the Shadow Realm. Zai willing to walk a little bit closer again. Mid lane, Ramses is low on life, but Solo coming in with a double damage rune. It's actually CCNC who's dying. And that'll be the first blood. Ramses just jukes it around the cliff. Just see a little bit of extra help with the DDE solo, able to do exactly that.
Yeah, nice movement from Solo. I think maybe Optic should have known this was coming, because when it's the off-lane support that rotates mid at 3, it very quickly becomes apparent when the safe laners don't face that silencer in this situation. Like, why is silencer not hitting PPD?
PPD's dead too.
Yep.
He throws out the stun after being cursed, so he's already locked himself into death. So Solo will get his +2. He didn't claim it for the other one. Nice doppelganger away. He's trying to juke it with the illusions.
He tried to avoid the power shot, but he still got a hit. So didn't work exactly like Pycat wanted. This early laning stage is going very well for VP. Getting the kill for Brood first, so he's having a good time in this lane that's hard for him in the beginning.
Yeah.
And securing Pasha a good start too. Sure, no one will catch up later with his Weaver.
CCNC. Just loving his CS score, even though I know a lot of it is spiders. Actually, even with the death, it's 1600 from 2200. There's
last shot.
Back underneath the tower.
This might give away the ward though. I think he knows that Clinks doesn't get this hit off unless there's pumps behind the tower. So maybe he can find that before it expires.
Got a minute and 20 to do it. Curry's finally coming out, making some recovery treks towards mid.
Oh, he's rushing phase.
Yeah, he's also going to get ganked on. Roger's coming in. Looking for a bramble, throws it down, misses once again. Not exactly what Roger was hoping for, and actually had Zai do his own rotation. I think Roger feels a little uncertain about this movement, but he's still got the Shadow Realm, so he'll be fine.
CCNC goes phase here instead of Aquila first. I thought that was going to be his default in this situation. Like, the phase boots give good damage, so you can try to kill the spiders with Boundless, but the extra armor and just the higher stats of having Aquila seems really, really useful for this particular matchup. I don't think he's going to be able to run down and kill the Brood with phase boots. Brood's still faster than you anyway.
Yep.
So, not completely sure about this. See how it goes.
Well, and a small issue, but looks like the teams are good to go again.
Normally. Oh, wait, no, I couldn't.
Oh, so they didn't respond when we said go? Let's try the chat wheel.
It's a good way to do it. 33 in Viz, using his skeleton wall to get away. Actually wants to try and turn around. The climb is out. The Dark Will, however, with the extra life, 33 will have the distance, and Roger is forced to throw everything into the Brewmaster. Not the target he wanted to do it on. As I'm looking at that, Ramses finds a kill on CCNC. This is not the greatest game even for Pycat. Like, you start begging the question, like, how many lanes have actually been won by Optic, and it feels like none is the answer, especially as PPD is going to go down again.
Radiant's middle tower
Optic are getting crushed right now. Like, this is not good. We said all they need to, well, not all they need to, but what they need to do is they need to try to get into this mid-late game situation without being run over too fast early on, because PL will be amazing this game.
Yeah.
But this mid lane is a travesty.
The TPing in
This is really not good.
He goes for a clap. The Silence is nearby. PPD makes his way over too, but they want CCNC. The Spiderlings and Solo go over towards CCNC as Ramses looks for another target. Monkey King, does he pop? The curse will do it.
Oh.
And Ramses is the man to find the kills. Now they've turned their attention towards Zai. Another clap out. The stick tag and raindrops protecting Solo for so long. Ramses wants better hit, but that drunken brawler, Solo can turn again. Really? How many times can he do this and still survive? How was there no level of punishment? It was a 3-on-2, but it's a 3 on Brood.
Toby, Monkey King is not a good comeback hero. Did you know that?
I did know that, but it's always good to reiterate the crappy mess that Optic is in.
Yeah, this is not good. He's level 5 and Brood is level 8 and has taken his tower mid at 7.
And now controls his jungle.
This is not the way this lane should have gone, but what happened was the one rotation from Solo that got them the first blood projected, or like...
Zai's dead.
It just pushed.
The curse is out. Silence. This is +8 now for Solo.
They've just propelled this Broodmother out of control already, actually. It's such a big advantage that Ramses is now running CCNC down in the mid lane.
Yep. That's what Ramses loves to do, though. You give him that space. Looks like 33 he's able to get some kind of rebuttal onto Solo underneath the Dire Observer Ward as well. But this is that power of Clinks, and normally a great, like, a good comeback mechanic, good comeback hero, Clinks, that would slip through the back lines, take tier 1 towers, grab supports, try and tilt the status quo.
33's game is pretty good right now. I think he's got what he needs on the Blink.
Pasha and Solo going in after Pycat. Jukes for half a second. Pasha in pretty deep. The Windrun's giving in the protection and goes straight after Phantom Lancer. Sick charges can't let him survive, so he runs back up again, avoids the power shot, and then lances over towards Solo. This will be huge if Pycat survives, but he will not. It will be a trade-off, a 2-for-1. But it's the PL, the hero that's meant to be your saving grace, and no one with a double damage rune. A little bit more difficult because the Drunken Brawler, but just chases after Zai. A level 4 Brewmaster. He cannot survive that. No one will get the kill, and time lapses off every bit of damage done to him.
I'm looking at how Optic need to approach this game, because you're under so much pressure against Brewmother, and your communication in this game, you have to plan your next move. Like, they have to think about, okay, how do we alleviate this pressure? What's the solution? Are we going to hunt and try to kill the Brood, or are we going to go and kill the other heroes? And I think no matter what your answer is, your Clinks has to be involved right now. I don't think anyone else on this map is going to do anything. Monkey King is tied down to this mid lane. If he leaves the lane for just 30 seconds, his tower is in a lot of trouble. Brood is farming all of his jungle, pushing in his lane. If you move the Brewmaster around, he's a level 4 support. This is not your classic Brewmaster mid at 9. He's not going to be able to get split off yet. And your safe lane, well, PL's very greedy and he went Ring of Health. He's not going to go for you.
Oh, they see CNC's alone. There's your jump, caught inside of a bramble, able to get the stun off. But not enough space to be created. This guy doesn't even have tree dance. There's no way to do it. And then a Shadow Realm TP out. Good safest way for Roger to escape.
I think this is exactly how you skill with Monkey King. And you go 4 in the stun as fast as possible. This is not that common usually. Monkey King will max out Jingu or get a value point in tree dance, but you need the 4 in stun to be able to kill off Spiderlings and buy enough time to disengage. So definitely agree with that.
Under the Observer and Sentry, no one. He was just hanging around for the 10-minute rune. And they're going to get all 4 bounty runes. No room for Optic. And they just see 33, like they'll know when 33 gets involved. Like you keep calling for it, but he's farming underneath the Observer and Sentry. So they'll see when he runs up north looking for a kill. They'll see when he backs off and goes towards the mid. And thanks to the mass amounts of observers and sentries the VP have in this mid lane, like it's impossible for Optic to surprise Ramses. He owns this mid. So maybe they go... okay, no. Yeah, VP just take bottom lane instead.
Damn, CCNC is really farmed. Toby has 160 last hits. 116, I mean.
Yeah, for his net worth of 3.3k.
116 CS.
Compared to the 5.8k.
He's 30 CS, 40 CS ahead of the Broodmother. Surely he's crushing his lane. Oh, brilliant defusal. That's...
Yeah. We could watch Zai die.
He might actually survive this CCC. Yeah, he just barely got out of that. Good stun.
Meanwhile, Brewmaster died. He actually died almost in his tier 3 tower on top lane. Just being dived out of their minds. And look, they left mid lane. Ramsey's forcing it with the catapult wave. So if Optic want to try and come down the bottom lane to defend against VP's push, they have to let their mid lane go. Finally, some sentries coming in from PPD. Hoping that Ramses will commit to some kind of fight so 33 can open up on him. It's the end of the death pack, so there it is. Follow in, swap them up. Global silence is out, but it won't matter, or will it? Ramses into the trees and away. No way does he get away with this. He does. They didn't know he ran up. They thought he ran down, or at least hung around.
That's such a fast global from Solo. That was super good communication. Pretty much instantly when he gets swapped, they global, and they do get him out of there. Very nice. I wonder how many, by the way, I'm joking about Monkey CS obviously, but I wonder how many of the CS are spiders, because when it says these 120, it's a bit difficult to grasp like how the mid lane truly went. Oh, good stun. They got no one.
They were really trying to hunt him down hard, but I still wonder what is the cost, and
this bottom tower, Pasha is pressuring it a lot with his side lane Wind Ranger here. Going for the 0-3-4 build. Maxing Wind Run is pretty common nowadays.
Here comes Brewmaster. I say that as though he's a core.
He's level 5.
Yeah, he's a level 5 trying to hit level 6.
They gave PPD the tome for that swap play earlier. So
sentries everywhere. They see 33 so clearly. And 33 should know this, that sentry ward they planted previously was dewarded. So defensive observe wards up from PPD. That is a pretty tight channel they want to try and control in mid, but thanks to the observe ward that's nice and aggressive from VP. Very close to the tower. Optic will not want to commit a sentry ward to get rid of that. But they'll try and find the killer with Clinks. He's just got the javelin to work with, and Parch is already on the run. Even burns a regeneration rune. Onto the sentry, 33. Pasha should have called vision of this for a quick moment, but we will run down.
Ginger so...
Nice timing.
Yeah.
That's a small window when it's level 4 Windrun. It has 6 seconds downtime, so they kind of have to catch Windrunner almost right after.
And he had half a second before that Windrun was back up again.
And it does dodge projectiles that are mid-air as well.
Dark Willow into the Terrorizer, trying to force the Phantom Blades to run into the Bramble. Able to do so, but Doppelganger down, and Curse PPD. He's got a set of Bramble, finds the right target, connects with no one but Pycat. Man, one Curse after the other, he just can't survive, and no one will run through him. He time-lapses just at the very end. He waited maximum duration for this. Meanwhile, Zai's being hunted by Pasha as well as Ramsey's back in towards the mid lane. So you get a kill on a Dark Willow, but your trade-off is your PL and Brewmaster.
No bueno.
Oh, if you're Optic, what's the opposite of that? If you're
Mucho bueno.
Mucho. PP looking very, very good.
That's pretty much everything I know in Spanish, by the way.
It's more than I knew. It's Spanish. I only ever know the really bad accent, that's all. Ramses is not giving up on this mid. He's gonna go BKB build as well.
I just glanced over, it's muy bueno.
Oh.
So what is mucho? Isn't that also a word? Am I making things up here?
Mucho is a lot, right?
I don't know.
Maybe just, it's the context of it all. Needs to be right.
Visibility.
I'm sure I said something that was understandable.
Pasha's on the run once again. Waits around under Invis for the 15-minute bounty runes, and here we go again. Zai knows. Invis hero standing right on top of him, and VP claim all of the 15-minute bounty runes. They are really being on point of this.
Got all the 10 minutes, all the 15s. How many of the first, the 5-minute ones did they get? I think 3?
It was 3 or 2.
Yeah. It's such a big lead that they've already managed to build now. 7,000 gold is... It's no joke.
How much does Zai wish he had something more like a Tuskar instead of this Brewmaster? He wants the hero that Brew looks like with this set on. Not the hero he's got. Oh, swap. Into the stun. They found it. Global Silence comes in, and there's no real follow-up onto Ramsey. In fact, it just allows Pasha to run in really, really close. Brewmaster has to go into the split. Ramsey still hasn't got down the hillside. Now he does so, but the Earthling Brew Spun, it actually does enough. They'll send him up towards the air. Is there more damage? Up the hill, Lances and Searing Arrows. Ramsey's finally brought down. 33 is the man to claim the money for at 500. And damn, Optic needed something, and they got something.
That's the biggest kill they could get. It did cost them a lot of time, though, but...
It just relieves pressure.
Global was burned for VP as well, so it's pretty good. It's global for Primal Split and a kill on Brood. It doesn't get much better than this right now, to be honest. Like, realistically, you're not going to find a much better fight than that one.
They may be thinking about it. Actually, no, they're not. They're not thinking about Jack. Nothing to be had. Pycat still needs his farm. He wants to get the Diffuser Blade up and running. Cause some kind of like range spam that's problematic to Virtus Pro and not just easily dealt with. CNC is also building up, now finished up the Shadow Blade, so we can at least stand inside of his Wukong for a little longer. And again, with the amount of observers and sentries that VP's been buying, that may be problematic. As now VP go in for Roshan, the Dire Scan is out. No information from the Radiant. Good deep observer wards inside the mid lane as well, so they know what's going on. And now the pings are coming, but it's too late. VP already claimed Roshan.
Instant smoke.
Yep.
Look for the next move.
CCNC's waiting. He'll break the smoke. Sentry wall gets planted. Dust as well. CCNC's out of range of it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The first item, Shadow Blade on Monkey King, is not as common as the Echo Saber build. I think in this game, CCNC just feels like he needs to be able to position himself to get an ulti off.
Oh, PPD found a friend.
It's not a friend.
Well, he's got a friend nearby. Starts his stun, his TP out. There is no stun, as Shackle was already used.
Actually didn't want to use the Terrorize for that. Thought it was more valuable to save it. I'm sure that one would have connected in time, and Roger knows that.
CCNC has got to stop farming underneath Observer
Radiant's
wards.
bottom tower
This
is
entire
under
game,
attack.
like VP just knows exactly where he wants to farm. So they're watching his out in progression.
Yeah, CCNC, just play outside the wards, dude.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I
Go
know.
somewhere else. They're right there, man.
How do you not know?
They have a ward in every lane, Toby. Like, where do you go, honestly? Like, VPCs, they have basically grabbed themselves 70% of the map. If you look at the map right now and you think of the wards that they have as like a new line, you just draw
Yeah, here.
down there.
Yeah.
So VP owns everything to the right of them. They own all of it. And you gotta alleviate that pressure. You can't just accept playing on 30 or 40% of the map until this game ends, because I don't think that will give enough space to the PL. It's not gonna work.
So they just need, well, how do you relieve that pressure? They did it before when they killed off Ramses, but doing that again is going to be more difficult. He's got a full BKB completed.
Working solo again.
Up. Man's a king of this. They're taking bottom lane now. There's nothing Optic can do to stop this. No one's already way too strong. They can just delay it.
There's an Aegis on this Weaver as well.
Well, they found PPD.
Yeah, he's on the...
He was trying to get rid of the wall. He put a sentry down looking
Radiant's
for it.
bottom tower has fallen.
The sacrificial ward scout.
It's a very selfless act. He kind of has to do it. Like,
Yeah.
somebody got to do it. Either they make a team move and try to de-ward with a team move, or he has to take risks. And he can die every time, because they have no idea what's going on.
19 minutes in, VP. Try and go high ground. They curse up Zai.
Radiant's
They got Bruce with a Valve. They found Monkey King. The power control, the follow-up Terrorize. Can they actually kill off CCNC before he can react? He's silenced for the moment. Now he can one-shot. Joey with the Shadow Blade, but there was no way he could hide. They had the dust, they had the detection, and the Brewmaster split was not providing enough control, and they don't have the players. PL can TP back. Clinks is now only just starting to do it. They've already taken the tier 3 tower. Brewmaster split has ended, and the curse has just continued. VP, they are owning this Optic base. The buybacks are up. And they really are doing all of this for the greater Pycat. Solar can get stunned up. Nice searing arrow from 33 to find the kill there, but now Ramsey hits the beacon. He's got the damage. He gets huge kills for Optic. If they can keep claiming more, but then the lockdown, the first crown onto the Clinch. He couldn't run away, but VP, they still haven't claimed the lane of ranks. They've lost 4 heroes. Yes, they forced buybacks, 2 of them on the Brew as well as the VS. But is that what they wanted?
Check the fight recap. Like nothing changed. Pretty much nothing changed.
There was one thing, though, which doesn't get calculated on this, and that was the amount of space the PL got. Because this does not calculate in the team fight recap. So he finished both of his Blades of Alacrity.
He went for Vanguard, too. I think he's scared that he's just going to get eaten alive by Broodmother. All the spiders, but it's also a great item against the Weaver. Like, Vanguard has a lot of value here. And if Pycat feels like they can buy enough time that he can go for that little bit of a stuff on the way, it could pay off big later on.
Oh, no one's found Pycat, but then again, there's a lot of Pycat to deal with. And no one's still going to try and find the real one. Vengeful Spirit's nearby, and there's no one. Yeah, he's doing this. Wind Range is on her way down. She has the Blink Dagger, but Pycat's out.
If no one really wanted to go for that, he still had a DD in the bottle.
He was just trying to force him out of the jungle.
Force him away. Don't let him farm. And if he baits rotation as well, which there was like half a rotation coming from PPD, there's even a little added bonus. And VP are just back down here, controlling the area again.
Yep.
Like you said though, that Clink's MKB proved to be really important there in killing off the Broodmother fast enough. We'll see if Ramses plays it a little bit more cautiously in the next fight. He has that insatiable hunger running and BKB. I don't think he dies right now.
Radiant's bottom tower.
There's just an early BKB too. They need to make this work. Observer, sentry. They threw down 3. 33 now with the curse crowned on him. And the double curse connected onto Zai. And he's just going to Brutal Split. Nope, they're slowed down. Now timed out. They're looking towards the Weaver. With a double damage triggered, he's backing out. But remember, this is a split game. Ramsey's just forcing in the mid lane.
That looked like they did not have the Aegis timed. It was like, oh shit. I'll get out of there. Well, they managed to escape. They didn't have to global to save him even, so.
I like how they're giving the farm to Zai. He's, okay, he has to clap because he missed the timing on it, but it's a Blink Dagger.
He still has to be cautious with blink clap splitting because he can get globaled after he blink claps. So he might have to use it to just blink split.
But he needs the damage, right? He needs to blink clap onto the spiderlings, onto the push.
They can deal with the spiderlings with
the Monkey King?
with dispel.
Oh, with
the,
Dispel?
the storm panda kills all of this summon.
Okay.
So at least I believe so. I think it should. Summoned units. I think it did actually happen one time in the bottom lane. I'm pretty sure he dispelled all of Ramsey's army, which is really nice.
Oh, swap. They found Pasha. No, they didn't find shit.
I don't think so.
Pasha's running away.
Radiant are scanning.
Sorry, we can use that word during group stage, right? Yeah, we're fine.
Gabe, if you're watching, we didn't mean it.
I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm sorry. Pasha. Perfect shackle. 33 and Dota together. The terrorized spots, they can't instantly react. More dust, more reveal. Where are these buybacks have been put to the test right now? Quick's using his. The tower is low. No one able to get back out with the time lapse, so a lot of that damage being negated. That's a quick stun onto Ramsey. The shackle! Pasha! It's a real Dulax! PPT's gonna get ripped apart. The Clinks is down. That's the die back out from him. And CC&C, the Curse Crown follow-up stun. Solo is low, so at least they get something back out of this. Hilarious enough, they still haven't taken the lane of Rags. Pasha was looking towards the mid, but hey, maybe now he'll rejoin the bottom fight. The tier 3 tower is so low on life. The fortification will buy some time for Optic. But Pasha so damn good. And he leveled up Shackle last. They're looking for more. CC&C runs forward. Done. Weaver gets the time lapse off.
Oh yeah, he has level 3 ult. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But he's still on the run out of here.
If that was a level 2 ult, he's dead. He literally had 0. But obviously.
I'm loving these wards from VP. They've got one inside the base away from Optic Sentry ward. They even know there's a deep ward inside their base. And they didn't find it. Hurling split ends. Searching for Ramses. Nothing comes from it. You're still getting some more items up and running for Optic. So the Blink Dagger was already up, obviously. But BKB from CC&C.
The absolute biggest item right now is Pycat's next.
Every
That
coin
is,
helps.
The Manta.
yeah. They have to just buy time for this. Like because of their. So what VP does have, they have 2 Maelstroms, and it is gonna, for now, be enough. But once that Manta style comes out, I'm not sure if they can kill them off the illusions fast enough. Like when they just overwhelm them really quickly. Weaver.
Pasha. Shackle. Flies. Will land. Just Monkey King obviously jumping to trees. He's surrounded by trees.
He missed the power shot. He thought he caught him earlier with the shackle, I guess. He could have solo killed him there. If he was patient and knew where the shackle landed, he could power shot for a 4-second stun and then focus fire to death.
Speaking of patience, VP won't have to wait much longer. Roshan's up in 1 minute. Is this something that Optic can even think about contesting at all?
Yes, I think they can. And the way they do it is they get off a primal split and a wave of terror, and then they try to just isolate anyone with PL in the beginning of the fight. And if VP responds, they might be able to get off a good Monkey King ult.
PPD's coming over with Observer Sentry, so at least he can plan it for vision nearby. Oh god, they're taking so long to get out there. And that Observer ward inside the base is gone now. They smoke up. They are out of range of any vision from VP, but you see the position of Roger. He's waiting in front of Roshan, got the perfect Obs and Sentry up. Roshan 7 seconds away. Power shot will not be able to scout it out, so instead, Optic will go for the long wraparound.
It's already pinged by no one.
Yeah.
Trying to break it here.
And Clinks, oh, he's in this, he'll break it. Wave of Terror flies out, they put a defensive Observer ward up on the hill.
Great read.
But VP still have the tier 1 tower. Like, I don't know how Optic are meant to win this when the tier 1 tower's there. Like, buyback-wise,
a problem.
Actually, buyback-wise, there's only Wind Ranger who has buyback. Silence is just a little bit short. So the lanes are pushing in. And Pycat's still working towards that Manta style. He's only got a 1.9k surplus. Roshan's up. And already the power shots from Pasha are clearing off the trees that Monkey King can use.
The challenge for VP here is not to get the Roche. They'll get that. The Radiant side is way too far back in their base. They're gonna smoke. I think they will be too late, regardless.
Yeah, that damage output.
They hit so fast. They have AC on the root. So the challenge is getting the same challenge. The challenge is setting up a fight in the enemy base that they win convincingly enough that they can get 2 lanes of Rax. Because I think even getting 1 lane of Rax right now doesn't completely end the game. As such, they need a bigger advantage than that to ensure that PL doesn't full on start overtaking the game. Like, they have a big lead, don't get me wrong. They're very, very favored to win this game.
Yeah. But would you like to see their favor? Actually, it's only 68% according to
that's the thing.
Probability.
That is PL. That graph is PL's win chance. Or 100 minus PL's win chance.
Zion PPD. Roger walks in nice and close. They got TCNC jumps in. A quick global silence means Monkey King's actually stuck up on the tree line. And now it's Brewmaster who gets the split off. Just in time he gets it off. But the fourth trouble for Clinks. BS has to swap him out of the Wukong command. But Ramsey's under the cover of BKB. Just chases down TCNC. This kill they will be able to claim. And that's 1 hero who can't buy it back. Make it 2. The Brilliant Split is going to last a little bit longer. It's up to Pycat. He needs to find something out of this. The curses are out. Zai will get a quick fire. But it's Pycat versus the world that is Virtus Pro. Another Bramble. Triple kill for Roger of all people. And Optic Gaming pushing up the daisies. At least their base will look nice. There's some flowers.
I kind of didn't like this that much from Optic because I feel like they gave VP what they wanted, right? This was the kind of fight that VP were supposed to set up for themselves, and I think Optic just made it a little bit too easy for them by going out in the middle of nowhere out here and just getting global on and open. This fight in their own base is a lot harder for VP, but now that they gave it for free, that's definitely 1 lane of Rax. The question is if they can get more out of this for now.
That's why Pycat's trying to slow it up. Monkey's up in 3 seconds time. VP probably won't want to overstay. Ramsey burning that BKB down to 6 seconds. They can still swap through that. But remember, he's got the extra life through the form of the cheese. That's exactly what he used. The follow-up done. He's actually dropping low, but Ramsey, the damage is still dealt. 33 goes down. They want more and they need more Optic. They need something. Sentry Ward's given the extra vision, but they're chasing after no one. His BKB will wear off in 1 second time. Solo will give him a little extra movement speed thanks to the drones, but then again, time-lapse is down and he's got no man to work with. So no one will fall. The Aegis Immortal will pop.
He just time-lapse back and still didn't mana. How often do you see a Weaver time-lapse and not have mana for Shikuchi? That's a rarity.
Well, at least he can run off to the side. Blink forward, they've still got the extra vision. CCNC jumps forward, needs to hit him a couple more times and now he can slap him down. No one on the run. Got the movement speed and yeah, they don't see him anymore. And Parcher's in the neighborhood, they can't keep the chase going.
So now, what are we at? 18,000 lead.
There's only 1 lane of Rax though.
1 lane of Rax and Aegis and Cheese were expended. So the question is if VP can get the 2nd lane without another Roche. I think it's still not that clear cut that they just end this game. And Pycat will have the Manta Style coming out in 40 gold. That is a big item.
He needs the space though, and the hunt's coming in from Virtus Pro, and Pycat may be that man. You won 40 gold, but he's got no camps to farm up.
They're actually going for this with Brood dead. That is so aggressive.
They're going to come underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. The smoke is still got enough time though. They'll make their way up. Zai reveals him. The smoke, he blinks very, very quickly. Terrorize flies out, and it actually connects onto 33. He's already used it to drop the sentry as well as the dust. So the vision is up, not to mention the shackle. Of course it is. Gosh, it's just going to land everything. But Roger, the kill the Pycat can go for. Finding it, PPD's run over for support. The BKB's down for Virtus Pro. Maybe they're a little bit more cautious when the stuns connect onto Solo. CCNC can just get into this battle. He'll take the kill, but no one. Here's BKB back off cooldown. Chasing after the Monkey King with the beetles on him. He knows there's no way he can hide out. And PPD's in exactly the same type of position. Pasha is searching for him in the tree lines, and he's going to find him. They're going to bump noses. The creep wave will come up to help PPD, but really this is the funeral parade, and Pasha taunting him with the love kiss. They said bumping noses, not lips. He's taunting so hard in the trees. Hello. Just hold him here. PP will finally guy. Beamon back in the real fight in mid lane. I didn't want to leave the top lane. Pycat, the full line of defense. Zyga blink in for a fight because no more way to get back out of this one, so he dies almost instantly. Buybacks galore. They'll get the clumps on onto the Broodmother, who's now going to BKB. His H4 hunger up, CCNC. Decisions are regretted, and BPD will fall down as well. There is nowhere safe on the map for the Optic Gaming captain. And, well, the silence, Pycat, well, thanks to Manta, he could dodge the last ticks of damage from it and regenerate back in his base, but there's that second lane of Rax going down.
Radiant's middle
And this
barracks has
should
fallen.
probably be the end. They could just try to go for the GG here. There's 30 seconds on Venge, 20 on Brew, 50 on Monkey. They know the buybacks were expended for both Monkey King and Venge, so basically a 5-on-3 situation when the Brew spawns.
Into the back line, going after Pasha.
Middle tower
The damage
has fallen.
is negligible. Windrun is too good, and that is forced buyback out from Clinks now. They even get the Bramble initial stun on PL, but Doppelganger up. Okay, maybe just walk straight back into it. A little bit of this micro. At 33, without his death pack available, doesn't really hit hard enough. And the rest of VP are bailing out. 2 racks up. They can't take the third. Tier 2 town still up.
2 tier 4s. If this top tier 2 was gone, they would have gone for Megas probably.
Yeah.
But not an option in that situation. They're preparing it though.
Radiant's top tower is under
At this
attack.
point, Pasha looks to set up. I don't know if he's going to get this tower though. Defensive Optic are going to try to.
Radiant's top
I don't think
tower
Optic
seem
can
like
take.
they're trying.
Optic cannot take a fight outside. Like everyone has buyback or cooldown apart from Brew, who doesn't have money.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
VP can just buy their way through if Optic want to try and fight outside unless they get the jump. And they get the slap onto Pasha, but he's still on the run out here. Rod is nearby, and he's the easier target, but maybe not. Shadow Realm, CCNC. Yeah, okay.
They have no way of stopping that TP out in Shadow Realm after Dauntless.
Yeah. And they go all the way back to base. Into a very, very safe position. We can wait for the next Roshan. He may spawn up in a minute and a half. Meanwhile, bigger items coming in. Ramses. I'm seeing a relic in his inventory.
Yep. Don't get too excited, Toby. It's a nullifier. Who knows? Who knows? Ramses might just be crazy enough to go for repaint.
And then loses,
But why?
then loses the game. It's like, ah, sorry, boy, it's my bad, it's fine. Like, VP's always laughing and giggling away when they're inside their booth.
There it is.
So Basher in for Pycat, so at least some kind of potential lockdown chance through the heavy BKBs. That is, yeah, nullify for the Brood. He's down to a 5-second BKB. What do we got? We got 5 seconds on the Weaver as well, and win range is at 9 seconds.
Is under attack. Radiant's top
So not a lot of
tower
immunity
has
time for them. And Optic's coming out for a fight. Observer and Sentry down, however. Break on PPD, Global Silence is out. They all just want to bail the hell out of here. Terrorize jumps forward. Clinks cannot TP out in time. And the shackle, it caught Zai. My God, Pasha. There's a shackle with his name on it. CCNC will fall. And that's the game. 3 euros down. That's there is no way that Optic can now fight this one. Even with the first hit bash from Pycat onto no one, he'll time-lapse off the damage, and GG is called. Virtus Pro will 2-0 in their first series of TIA.
This was a really interesting, how to say, it was interesting to see this game play out with how the draft